My name is Chris, and today we're taking a look at an all-in-one turntable amplifier speaker combo. Welcome to the Vinyl Attack. The StackStone Savage The One, yes, that really is the product name, but more on that later, is an ambitious product that tries to solve a problem that some people really do face: lack of space, money, and or interest in a multiple source turntable setup. This all-in-one unit combines a turntable, amplifier, and speakers in the same package, along with the ability to connect Bluetooth. While I will never understand why someone would want to take their analog turntable and pass its sound through a digitally compressed source, in this instance, I think the idea here was you're being able to take your music and stream it to the unit when not playing the turntable. At least I hope that was the idea. Sporting the ubiquitous Audio-Technica AT3600L, an adjustable anti-skate, and an easily adjustable counterweight, the StackStone, as I'll call it from here on out, isn't an unsightly package. With its faux wood veneer, subtle branding, and overall layout, it would assuredly blend into any room in which it might be placed. Of course, if a product doesn't sound good, there isn't much need to place it in a room to begin with, so let's dive right into the sound quality, followed by that of the build. Boasting a Sound by Jammo badge right on the front grille, you might have some preconceived notions that this should be a fairly good sounding unit, and you'd be right in that regard. While it isn't going to set the world on fire sonically, I was pleasantly surprised by the overall performance, especially considering its compact size. Containing two 2.5-inch mid-drivers and two 1-inch tweeters, along with two bass ports that StackStone calls bass auxiliary units, this combo can deliver a fairly robust sound when placed properly from a wall, and you're keeping your expectations based in reality. There's more bass than I'd expected, but you're not going to find ground-shaking low end from the speakers this size, so you'll want to put that notion aside. The mid and high frequencies are the majority of the bandwidth available, and they were both smoother than I thought they'd be. Vocals were present in the mix, but that may be because there aren't a bevy of other sonic notes to drown them out. Highs weren't harsh, unless you really cranked up the volume, but I never found myself going that much past halfway on the knob if I were sitting at a near field distance, a distance I would think is appropriate for a unit like this. The sonic balance was adequate, and while I found the soundstage to be wider than I thought, you're not going to get stadium-sized performance here. But after the novelty of having a decent-sounding all-in-one unit sitting on my desk or kitchen counter wore off, I became more aware of some of StackStone's shortcomings. Things like the platter not running level with the plinth, and build quality issues. While too many of us have grown accustomed to warped vinyl of varying degrees as a part of life, that type of wobble shouldn't be from the source unit itself, i.e. your turntable. There was also movement at the base of the tone arm that caused some concern, not because it was inherently affecting the sound, at least not that I could hear on an all-in-one unit like this anyway, but because of the lack of tight tolerances in the build just doesn't give much confidence. I will say that the selector switches are certainly robust, if not a bit industrial in their feel and appearance. This, however, is just a personal preference note more so than a quality or build concern like the previously mentioned items. Well, it must be said that there are no instructions found in the box, and the website is barren of technical information pertaining to the unit. There are a few handy videos for people who might be newer to the hobby. Being overwhelmed with technical information and how to apply it is usually the main reason people stray from analog, hi-fi, or turntables in general. The videos found on the site, while concise, do have the necessary information to get this table up and running with little effort and confusion. That said, I still find it odd that there's such a lack of detail about what you're getting with this unit. While in flutter, cartridge type, effective tone arm length, wattage, and even the speaker dimensions are all missing. I would think these would be paramount for people looking to buy this product. I had to measure what I could for myself for this review. Sadly, the best place for this information is found on the Amazon page. A page, thus far, is the only place to buy this combo. Even then, though, the only useful technical information is the cartridge itself, the aforementioned Audio-Technica AT3600L, and perhaps that it has an adjustable anti-skate and Sound by Jammo. The pre-adjustable counterweight tag amused me with its confused message. Is it pre-adjusted, or can you do it yourself? Then again, the website itself is an epitome of mashed up generic phrases that try to seduce you into buying their product. And I say product because at the time of this video, there was only one available despite their products heading, plural, at the top of the site. This is the beginning of the downward side of the StackStone brand. Moving down, you'll see such marketing errors and nonsense like their opening sentence, and I quote, "Committed to leading high fidelity all, period, in one record, Plaver." Blatant grammatical and spelling errors like this inspire zero buying confidence and sets the tone for the rest of the page. While I don't want to focus all of my energy putting out the verbiage flaws of the website, phrases like, and again I quote, "Savage the One is a vinyl player that perfectly blends space, comma, space, top-notch playback quality with outstanding sound quality," make it a tough read. It's a shame that the proofreading wasn't as high on the list as the marketing jargon. Further below, you'll find some additional words of inspiration about the StackStone, or Savage the One if you prefer, I'm not really sure as it's never really clear, and some accompanying photos. The generic ones of a table and plant and a girl with a telescope and some happy lady in her kitchen were huge inspirations to me and made me want to go play records while forgetting about my troubles. I'm sure you'll feel the same. StackStone also claims they're looking to expand into Europe and China, collaborating with global brands, so we should stay tuned. I find this confusing as there is no way this isn't a Chinese turntable, or at least there's no way this isn't made in China and shipped en masse to the American distributor. The spelling and grammar errors alone are classic translator signatures. Now, this isn't a knock on a company that's looking to sell their product to a foreign market, nor is it a knock on companies whose first language isn't English. That's just mean. However, I do have a massive issue with the fly-by-night companies who try to sell you an item under false pretenses. In this case, using the guise of an American startup with a passion for hi-fi to garner excitement, to line their pockets and pass along an inferior item. Is that the case here? Quite possibly. Then again, I would think that if a company took the time, money, and effort to enlist the help of Jammo, whose parent company is Klipsch, to help with the sound performance, that the end goal would be a reputable product. Unfortunately, I can't know for sure, and only time will tell. Well, this turntable combo is far from the worst thing I've ever used. I'm looking at you, Angel's Horn. It also isn't great. This is one of those cases where budget will most likely be the ultimate deciding factor. Its normal list price of $249 US was down to a reasonable $191 for Cyber Monday, but taking a look at some price tracking shows that it's been down for a couple of weeks. It also had more than one price drop in the month of November. So, if you're looking to pick up this combo unit, you likely won't need to wait too long for some kind of a sale. Quite frankly, that'd probably be the only time I'd really recommend this purchase. Even then, recommend is a bit of a strong word. I don't hate this unit, and it's not a complete waste of your money despite my concerns with the company. The sound is solid for a budget system, and it's about what you'd expect for the price. It's also very convenient in its all-in-one package. No, my issue, previous physical talking points aside, is what I perceive to be blatant false marketing. While the contact information seems to claim that the company is based in California, it leads you to nothing more than an apartment where I can assure you no turntable manufacturing is being done. So to say that StackStone is a, and I quote, leading brand from the US, while technically possible, is also horseshit. If this unit is made in America, I'm the Queen of France and you are now all my unwitting subjects. As previously mentioned, this dishonesty simply pisses me off. This company, if truly US-based and branded, would do itself a great deal of service if it just got in front of this mess and told us what's what. Where's the table made? Where's the distribution based? What are the specs of the unit? Who on God's green earth typed that verbiage on the website, and how did it get the green light? These are basic questions that any consumer should look to have answered when buying any product from any company, not just a startup. Will the unit perform as I've described here? Unless you get a dub for some reason, I would say certainly. But my concern would be, can you count on any service after sale down the road? If history is any indicator with companies like this, quite frankly, I just don't think they'll be around. But I'm happy to be wrong, and only time will tell, as they say. I have a hunch, though, that I already know that outcome.